Hello everyone, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial and Mom. And in today's video, we are back to recap 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way, Season 2, Episode 13, Sticks and Stones. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but I know that I saw them promise a big bang, a big show out. And I didn't see it unless I wasn't paying attention. Did you?
Nope. I think it's going to be next week for the true mid-season finale.
So, let's get into the video. So, for our first couple, we are going to start off with Binyam and Ari. So, Ari's mom is going back to the U.S. I thought it was funny because she was basically like, you know, I trust you staying here with him. You know, he calmed my nerves. The hospital calmed my nerves. But if you want to have this baby in America, call me.
That's what you found funny? That wasn't funny. That was like,
I was like,
call me. That wasn't funny.
I like, ha ha, funny. Like, I wish you would say that. Funny.
You know what? Ari's having a hard time that her mom's leaving because now she has to face reality of being in Ethiopia with no running water, no essentials that she's used to at home in the States or wherever. But if you visited Ethiopia before,
shouldn't she already know that?
Yeah, but well, she should. But then again, maybe when she was traveling the world, maybe she stayed at a hotel, so maybe she didn't see the true ins and outs.
Now, throughout this whole scene with her, you know, at the airport and later on at the park, did you feel like she was having all these emotions because her mom was leaving, because she was hormonal? Or do you think that she's actually second guessing being with Binyam in this whole predicament, even without having the baby?
I think because her mom not leaving left. And yes, she's hormonal, and yes, she's second guessing. She's used to having the essentials, the water, the stove, the this or the that. Because the mom said, remember before she left, not just call me if you need a ticket, but what did you need when me and your dad come back that we could bring for the baby? She's like, well, if you could bring a stove.
Stove?
Yeah.
How did she get that?
So they can cook because someone needs to cook. And I don't know if Binyam cooks. I don't think so. But
you know he don't cook. He got 4 jobs that doesn't pertain to cooking or hobbies. I don't feel bad for Ari. I feel like she got herself in a predicament that she should have already knew what was going to be like. And I kind of feel bad for Binyam in a sense because he can feel that she wants to leave. And he is doing everything under the sun for her not to leave.
Well, I don't know about everything under the sun, but he's trying, you know,
it's more than we ever seen anyone else do before.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then we have this quick scene with Tim and Melissa. I don't understand why we keep seeing them if it's not going to be progression. But we saw them again because Tim wants to get a job because he wants to prove himself.
Again, I don't like this. I don't like that. Prove yourself. I said this like episode 2 or 3, whichever one that you came on when you were talking to your mom before you moved to Colombia. All the things that you were doing to prove yourself to Melissa about going to counseling and telling her everything, where you were, what you were doing, this and that, to show her that you were committed. So I don't understand what the approval process still is.
You don't understand why his application hasn't been approved yet?
I haven't.
So we see him having to go to an employment office. But first he called a taxi, and the taxi was a motorcycle. And that motorcycle, compared to Tim's height, looked like one of those little vroom vroom bikes that you see for little kids.
That's not what he was complaining about. He was like, you know, I thought my Spanish was on point. And again, I give it to Tim because he has the actual language down. May not be perfect, but at least he knows how to communicate. Well, he thought he called for a taxi, but it came that motorcycle. And at first he attempted to get on, and he was like, nope, I don't think so. So then a real taxi came, which got him to the employment office. So while he was in there, he met with a counselor, and bottom line is, Tim, you either need a visa or get married to Melissa to get a job in Colombia.
Yeah, did he really think a visitor's visa was going to grant him a job?
I don't know. Maybe he thought it had the same perks as Melissa when she came over. But again, the United States and everywhere else do things different. So I guess he had to learn, find out, right? Well, when he learned that he may have to marry Melissa, he was like, you know what? We're not even there yet. We're not even on the same page. I'm like, good thinking, Tim, because I don't think she ever will be.
I don't think they're on the same page because, like you said, she's not on the same page. I feel like Tim is ready because he moved everything that he has there. And I think it's pretty interesting on the next episode that they're finally going to have this conversation. And that is a conversation that I will be tuned in for. So then we get to the scene with Kenny Armando. Now, Kenny was already turning me left opposite from him because I don't really like the way he comes off in certain episodes and how sometimes it kind of looks like or feels like or seems like, I don't know which one it is for me, kind of looks down on Armando and where he lives. And you can kind of see it a little bit more in this episode when they went to this authentic Mexican restaurant for some tacos because he wanted to take his daughters there.
It's all authentic. And for me, I've said this from the beginning too. There was something about Kenny that just didn't sit right with me. But I don't think he's looking down on Armando. I think he's looking down on Armando's culture.
But Armando is a part of that culture.
I know.
So he can't separate the two if he is a part of that one. That's the issue.
Yeah.
So at this restaurant, they're eating good food. The tacos look bomb. When Kenny has to go to the bathroom, his daughters made a comment that kind of raised a red flag to me. I don't know if it was because, you know, maybe he just doesn't like to use public bathrooms, or it was like, you're going to the bathroom here. I don't know which vibe I got from it.
I got both of those vibes. And honestly, for Kenny, the situation is you're not at home, you're not at a hotel, because every time they go out, he tends to bring up like, oh, that's this or that's that, or we don't have this, or you have to do that. So when he sees the bathroom and the accommodations aren't what you're used to, if you really have to go, you're gonna go. And if you don't, then hold it. But when he called Armando to the bathroom to help him use it, to flush it or whatever, I just really did not like that. But when Armando was trying to explain how to do the bucket in the water and things like that, okay, so Kenny, I give you that. I wouldn't have known what to do either, but I wouldn't have been like, oh my God, this is what you do? Yeah, because guess what? When you have to go to Armando's home, which is 4 hours away in a rural village, what do you think those accommodations are for? So I didn't care for that scene, period.
But the scene that was a little bit touchy was when Armando was actually becoming touchy with Kenny for the first time we've seen in public. But you know, sometimes when people take 2 or 3 steps forward, something always knocks them 1 step back. And of course they had a negative comment. You know, he heard it, the daughters heard it, Kenny magically didn't hear it. But Kenny felt bad for Armando. He was like, you know, the moment that he was actually trying to give me what I was looking for, somebody comes in the mix and messes it all up.
Yeah.
And that goes back to someone I saw say, you know, Armando should have told Kenny what he was getting into.
And with that negative comment, you could see Armando getting emotional, the daughter's getting emotional, and Kenny was like, well, I'm glad I didn't hear it. And Armando was like, why? What were you going to do? Like cause a ruckus, cause a fight? He's like, no, but just get my point across. See, again, Kenny is not understanding to how Armando is feeling, because Armando, again, grew up here.
Or the culture.
Armando grew up here. He knows how things are. He told Kenny before he came. He's been telling Kenny this whole time. But Kenny just doesn't want to see. He wants things to go on as if he's back at home in Florida, and that's not the case. So overall, he did try to help Armando be comfortable by saying, you know, live your truth, live your life, which is true, and I appreciated that. But it's still going to take a whole lot of time for Armando to get comfortable.
Again, 90 Day Fiancé the other way gives us another quick scene, this time with Brittany and Yazan, which I am pleased about because we already know that the relationship isn't real. It can't be real because all the stuff that they say and do, it's just like, really? Like on this episode, we saw them meet up, but she's like, oh, I haven't seen him in a long time. I'm like, what do you mean you haven't seen him in a long time?
Well, I think because he still has to work. Doesn't he work for his family or for somewhere? He has to work. He probably works during the day, sees her during the night, or whenever his parents thinks it's appropriate for him to see her. Because remember, they don't like this girlfriend-boyfriend stuff. They want them married. So the few times that he's saying he sees Brittany, he's probably going on the low.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking on the low, Yazan informs Brittany that one of his family members saw one of Brittany's pictures on IG and that she was naked. Brittany shows us a picture and she's in a bikini.
Her and her cousin in a bikini. And she said, you know what? My social media is just that. She knew what she was doing. She said, I'm leaving my pictures up because his family may control him, but they're not going to control me.
And you know what I thought was interesting too? Is that every time I guess they get in a little tiff, they both talk about, how they don't need each other, how she's not going to be a good wife. I guess she texts him, he's weak and all this other stuff. So once again, I'm like, this isn't real. This can't be real. What are we really watching on this episode scene right here, right now?
I'm honestly tired of talking about Brittany and Yazan, but for the purpose of the show, we will. Because like you said, this can't be real. And when we see them next week for the finale, when she's leaving to go to Chicago and she didn't tell him the real reason why. What's the real reason why, Brittany? Because I thought your ex-husband was in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
So today is Taeyong's 100th birthday party. So we have Devon and Ghoon on the way to the party to get things started. But before they get there, Ghoon drops off Devon to his mom's house to help prepare the food, while Ghoon takes Drusilla out to walk around. I'm like, why would you do that? I would just be sitting in the house.
Right.
Not doing
I'm
nothing.
not trying to do too much extra because they're already been down my throat. But you know what was funny? Devon cooking with Jihoon's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Devon felt like Jihoon's mom talks to her like she's dumb. I was like, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? How do you think Jihoon feels when your mom is literally down his throat for what, the 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many days they've been there. Every single day that they've been there, her mom has been down his throat and she doesn't say anything about it. So I don't feel bad for Devon.
While they're preparing the food, the mom is trying to show her how to cut carrots, and Devon's like, oh, well, stuff at home is already prepared. Again, why did they say this? You're not at home. So
and they don't care.
Right. So while she's trying to cut carrots, the mom says, no, that's not good, through the translator app. And Devon's like, oh, well, I don't know how she wants it. All right, Devon, whatever. So now they're at the party. The party was thrown together by Jihoon's mom, his dad, all his extended family's there. And so Devon learns that her and Drusilla have to wear traditional clothing. So when Devon's picking out her outfit for herself and Drusilla, she's like, oh, well, this is what they wore in ancient times? I was like, how rude of you. Ancient times. That's tradition. They probably wear that all the time.
Why are you surprised?
So while they're picking out the outfits, outside, here comes Devon's mom. I thought she was at home.
I thought she was at home too because she just brings a negative energy ever since, day one, but especially from the last episode. It's just like, why? Like, I really wish Jihoon's mom knew how to speak English because I feel like Jihoon's mom would get Devon and her mom together really quick.
And then when she walked in, she saw Jihoon. He welcomed her. She was like, yeah, I'm going to keep my comments to myself because I'm still boiling from when Drusilla ran off. You're boiling. I mean, little kids run off. I mean,
speaking to that point, later on, when they were all at the table and Jihoon was trying to introduce Drusilla to his grandma, he couldn't get Drusilla to come over there. She was like, no, I don't want to sit down. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And Devon's mom looked at them and said, oh, she's wild.
Oh, yeah. And when she said that, I was like, you're kidding, right? She's 3. She's rambunctious. She has a lot of energy. So why would you have blamed Jihoon from the events of yesterday? But that's neither here nor there. As the party went on, everything was nice, like I'd said. And little Taeyong was dressed up in his outfit. He was cute and everything. They were taking pictures.
And it was funny because Jihoon's family was all clapping, and Devon was like, "Oh, they're clapping for me. They like me." Like, no, they tolerate you. They're here for the baby.
for his 100th-day birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And so Devon at the table was saying, you know, I'm not sure how the family would like me because they look down on single moms or mothers who are unwed. So I really hope they like me. But I thought before you didn't care.
That's what I was about to say. I'm like, she doesn't care. This is all for the cameras, all for extra commentary. She doesn't care. We all know that she doesn't care, especially because we saw in the last episode.
But Jihoon's aunts did say to production, they were like, oh yeah, we like Devon. We didn't know how she would be at first, but since we met her, she seems nice, and they approve. So really she had nothing to worry about. The only thing she has to worry about is Jihoon's mom.
Okay, everyone, so that was the end of this week's episode, and of course they're gonna save all the good stuff, everything that we've been wanting to know. Jenny, Melissa, well, those two mainly it. We have to wait for next week, which is the last episode for their mid-season finale. And who knows when they're going to come back on.
No, that's not it. Jenny, Tim, Brittany, Ari, everybody.
So thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. You share this video to other people who watch 90 Day Fiancé the other way, and you also leave us a comment down below letting us know what you thought about this week's episode and who are you really waiting for in next week's episode.
Thank you all for watching, and as always, live simply, be grateful.